Well, hey there, guys. Hope you guys are having a decent had a decent week so far. As I record this now, it is currently 2:30 a.m. I just got home from work a little bit ago, and I wanted to take a look because we all know that Canada has had a they've had a hard time getting you know winning the Stanley Cup. They have not won a Stanley Cup since these guys did it in 1993. And I thought I would take a look at the Canadian teams that have gotten to the finals and have ended up coming up a little short. So, we start out obviously with 1993. We had Montreal. They became the last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup. They defeated the Los Angeles Kings 4-1 in 1993. We didn't know at the time that was going to be the last time a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup. Now, Canadian teams have made the Stanley Cup final a few times, more than a few times since then, and they've come up short. 1994, we had the Vancouver Canucks make the Stanley Cup final. They came up a little bit short against the New York Rangers. They lost 4-3 in 1994. You then did not have a Canadian team make the Stanley Cup final until 10 years later, and it was controversial. I still contend that you didn't have all the different replay and all that you have now, and it just I still contend the puck was over the line, but we just don't know for sure. And Calgary ends up losing to Tampa Bay in 2004, 4-3. And, then we go into a lockout. We lose the entire 04-05 season. We come back from the lockout, and the Edmonton Oilers have made the Stanley Cup final as a number 8 seed. They end up losing to the Carolina Hurricanes 4-3 in what ended up being a fantastic series. And it kind of makes one wonder if Dwayne Rollison does not tear his groin in Game 1 and is able to play that entire series. Do the Edmonton Oilers win that series? We don't know. We'll never know. But even with a backup goalie, the Oilers took the Carolina Hurricanes to 7 games. And like I said, if Dwayne Rollison doesn't tear his groin in Game 1, who knows what happens? So the Oilers come up a little short. Then the next year, we get the Ottawa Senators. They make the Stanley Cup final. And they run into an Anaheim Ducks team that was just they were unstoppable. I mean, the Ducks were an incredible team, and Anaheim beats Ottawa 4-1. Then it goes a few years before a Canadian team gets back to the final again. And this time it is Vancouver. They come up against the Boston Bruins. They come up a little short, 4-3 against the Boston Bruins. Then it's another 10 years before a Canadian team gets back to the final. It is 2021. It is the weird year where they redid the divisions for that 1 year. You couldn't cross the border into Canada and all that. That was the whole COVID stupidity. And just the way it ended up working out, 2 Atlantic Division teams ended up playing each other in the Stanley Cup final, and Tampa defeats Montreal 4-1 in 2021. And then you had last year, you had the Edmonton Oilers get to the final. They played the Florida Panthers. They came up, they fell behind 3-0 in the series. They came storming back to win 3 in a row to force a Game 7. And then they came up just a little short in Game 7, so they lost 4-3. And then, of course, we have right over here, we have the rematch going on, where as of this taping right now, the Oilers are leading that series 1-0 on the Florida Panthers. Can the Oilers finally break this streak? It has been 93, 03, it has been 32 years? 32 years, or well, 31 years technically, since a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup. Can the Edmonton Oilers be that team to finally bring the Stanley Cup back to Canada? It's been a long time. It's been an awfully long time. Like I said, we've had the Canadian teams have made the finals 7 times since 1993, and they've lost every one of them. Can the 8th time be the charm? Can the Oilers get it done in the rematch? We're not entirely sure, but it will be fun to watch, and we'll see what the Oilers can do. I'm hearing a little and she runs out of the room. I'm like I hear a pebble. I hear a pebbles behind come running in, and then she goes and runs right back out of the room. But yeah, we've had seven different times Canadian teams have made the finals. They've come up short. And again, can the Oilers get it done this time? We shall find out. I think it would be fantastic to see the Oilers bring the Stanley Cup back to Canada. I know there are because a lot of times you would think that Canada would root for the Oilers. No, not there's a good chunk of Canada that are not rooting for the Oilers. I know Calgary ain't. Ain't nobody in Calgary cheering for the Edmonton Oilers to win the Stanley Cup. That ain't happening. I don't think anybody in Toronto is wanting to see the Oilers win the Stanley Cup. It's interesting how that works. Montreal, I don't know if Montreal really cares that much whether or not the Oilers win the Stanley Cup. I mean, they might, but I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since Canada's had a Stanley Cup drought that has gone for 31 years, and we'll see if it goes on another year or if it ends. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comments. Can the Oilers do it? Can they end this Canadian futility here? Can they end it? Can they knock off the Florida Panthers in the rematch? Can they do it? I don't know. But it's definitely going to be fun to watch. Game 1 was an amazing game. And I'm pretty sure Game 2 will be just as amazing. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do the Oilers do it, or does it go on, or does the Canadian drought go on another year? Let me know again in the comments. Hit that like button. It definitely helps out the channel. It just takes a second, just tap that little button, that little like button. Definitely helps the channel out. If you would please subscribe to the channel, that would be fantastic. That would be awesome too. I would love you for doing that. Also, share the video with everyone that with friends, with family, whoever. And if you know people that love hockey, that love hockey content, that haven't heard of the channel, let them know about the channel. I would love to have every hockey fan in the world. I'd love to have you all join me here at Larry's House of Hockey. And even if you aren't a hockey fan and you want to get into hockey, gladly you subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome too. And hang on. Hey, Pebbles. Oh, come here. Come here. Oh, come here. Oh, somebody wants to say hi. Hi, Pebbles. Here's Pebbles. It's the little it's the little puppy. She's a couple months old now. What you doing? How you doing? She's gotten a little bigger. She's definitely gotten a little bigger since since she was first introduced. But yeah. Say hi, Pebbles. Hello. So but yeah, but let everybody know about the channel. Like I said, I'd love to have every hockey fan in the world. I would love to have you all join me here at Larry's House of Hockey, and yeah, the Canadian. I know some people call it a curse. Some people call it a drought. I don't really necessarily consider it a curse, but I can understand why people would say that. I mean, I more or less call it a drought. Does the drought end this year? I don't know. Let me know, though, in the comments what you guys think. And again, like, comment, subscribe, share. Also, hit that little notification bell. That will notify you anytime future videos are uploaded. And like I said, subscribe to the channel. That way I know I can see you here again. And again, like, comment, subscribe, share. I'll see you guys later.